I said, well, this is it, you know, sometimes I don't go roll of honour scarf, you know, around on the 10, etc. And he went, are you selling them? And I just looked at him and I said, do you sing songs? He went, no, and I went, well, what do you want a scarf for? And he just put seed down, and he went up the stairs. And that was it, mate, you know. So, no, quite, as I say, when I handed over, I was there with one of wee Marty, the Malton Provost the day, and he was getting it louder, he was getting it Malton Provost, and one of the stewards gave him a look, and he just turned and he gave him a right, Marty gave him a right look in the steward went down. But somebody, Sean, the boy lives down in London, sort of texted me or tweeted me earlier on, and he said, oh, what do you make of these stewards? You know, or they're doing that for a living wage. And I said, well, maybe, or sorry, you know, the minimum wage. And I said, well, I think this is what we've got to look at. We can't have working class folk going to a stadium and turning on working class folk who are having to do that job to supplement their families. It's not the person doing the job, it's the person who's delegating the job, and it's the person above him or who is dictating what the policy's going to be. So whoever's in Celtic Park and decided that was the route they were going to go down today, to alienate and intimidate and sort of, I mean, the stories are horrific on the timeline, mate, you know, and I know there's still people saying, well, you know, that's the way it's got to be. That's absolute fucking nonsense, you know, but a lot of the guys I sit with, I'm on social media, and I was actually explaining them today what's actually happened with this Motherwell banning order thing, and they went, well, how many's in the Green Brigade, Stevie? And I went, well, you know, there's about 60, 65 of the people down there. I said, but, you know, 108 of them's been suspended. And I said, well, 111's gone. You know, they've all been told if we move seat or whatever, they can go elsewhere. And they said, have they all moved? I went, well, would you move? And they said, I went, no. I said, so why should they? And you know, we've got 5 people who have been, but and I keep repeating myself here, 5 people, if proven guilty of damaging property deliberately at a football ground, shouldn't be supporting Celtic. We don't want that. I've said that, you know, but you see all the embarrassments in Europe with various football clubs and all that smashing things up. We don't want that at Celtic Park. I think it's quite ironic that the investigation's been delayed a few weeks, because it means we've got our supporters in London. They're not allowed to go and follow Celtic, whether it be 23-year-old blonde girls and up to 45-year-old ultras and they're not allowed to go. And they're now looking at, you know, innocent until proven guilty is the law of the land, you know, but the Amsterdam lads who, as I said to you before, obviously didn't do it, but were prosecuted in a European court, were allowed to get into Celtic Park on the Euro night because it had been a bit dodgy PR-wise. But we've alienated 188 of our fans, or 186, whatever the correct number is, have been banished for the club. You know, their reputation, you know, good lads like Baz in the chat room and all that, you know, people like that have been wiped out, mate, you know, them. And what's going to happen if these 5 people are named and not in the Green Brigade, and they might be for the other end of the stadium. So what happens then, you know, it's 111 probably is never going to come back now, you know. But it's baffling to me because probably a few people I know, 111, it wasn't ideal for everybody, because who needs to be totally controlled, have high definition cameras on you, it's very stupid, focus are there every week, filming that, doing it every week, sitting above them. Even tonight, as I was leaving the ground early, there was a police van sitting at the back of 111 when other troops come out. You know, so who's really wanting that, mate? It's totally wrong sort of thing, you know, but it's only going to get worse, because what's going to happen at the next away game, you know, if this is what you're doing to, if they feel comfortable enough with dictating a policy like this at our home at Celtic Park, what would have happened today if we'd had people from Ireland over who'd never been to a game? A bit of fans who, I feel like they've been 6 bus stops for the fucking place. A bit of folk who spend 6, 7, 8 hours, probably spend all their lobby money, they'll miss catching a show, the cinema, you know, a gig, to go and see Celtic, and to be treated like that today. Absolutely appalling, mate, you know. As I say, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, you know, the fan base are there, that later, and they every time, mate, you know what I mean, but for our supporters to be treated like that, and the way some people are taking great delight in the fact, oh, well, yeah, same band, we don't need them. But when we hear about men in their 40s, you know, challenging young guys like that and various things going on and the snidey stuff the stewards were saying to kids and all that, I honestly think something's going to have to be done over at Tommy, you know, but as I say, it's no matter. Thank God I've taken a couple of weeks off it, mate. You know, I'd be doing it about 1-4 if I was going around it, but
a couple of weeks off? A couple of weeks off? You don't here for fucking half an hour? Fuck.
No, I'm here on the school, mate, you know.
Well, how did you find out about that show then? If you weren't on Twitter, how did you know about that show? You're sure? I'm not putting about the
PLC. I'm not doing any board bashing for a few weeks because I don't have to, mate, because everybody's on it now. You know, the boys and lassies in the section at first said, well, you know, well, it's only the Green Brigade. Sorry, and so they've negated the Green Brigade out at now, and maybe a few members have moved to other bits of the ground. So what they're coming after next, you know, they've got fans thrown out of a stadium for having a Nelson Mandela scarf today. You know, 4 days after, you know, Celtic's Barcelona had the big display, so that's been negated. The lads, the boys and girls that sit to the left of me usually take a Basque separatist flag and a Catalonian flag, and that was not there today. You know, I believe the Indie boys were told to vote yes thing down. That's political, we don't want that. Reports that the lads with Green Brigade scarves on were being told I take it off or you're getting out sort of thing. So you're being told you're paying top dollar for shit on the park, shit in the dugout, and you're being told what you can wear and what you can do. Times are tight, mate. I wouldn't look down my nose at anybody that says, oh, do you know what, enough's enough. You know, as I say to people, Celtic's the people who follow Celtic. I was with Celtic folk before that game, and I was with Celtic folk. I was with some of the best Celtic folk I've known in my life in that CSA before that game, who are no longer welcomed by a conservative Tory bastard CEOs decided they didn't want them there. I was subjected to that nonsense today, nothing like some of the treatment the poor souls were getting. And then after the game, I was in the south side of the cafe, roll of honours belting it. It's what we are, and it's what we'll always be. Mate, you know what I mean? So I'm comfortable that Celtic's a community 126 years and longer who came to these shows for obviously built glamorous places like Lithuania, like my good folk, or Ireland and whatever. But they're not going to be, Celtic part where we play is just bricks and mortar. We won't follow our living folk, but it's a way of life, it's a community. We won't be dictated to it if our forefathers had sort of sat in the back of the bus and took it. We wouldn't be gone now, mate. As you say, we'd have been Hibs. You know, and for folk who were singing to where's your famous Green Brigade, you're going to have to get used to that because every other support's going to do it. But fair play that when the fans gave it a wee go today, and you know, we had the jungle, you know, I tweeted that picture today with the jungle. For me, the Celtic part was the main stands is like people who, middle class Catholics went, accountants and doctors, and they sat there and put their leather gloves on and gently clapped. The rest of the stadiums where the action happened and where Celtic were supported, you know, the folk for schemes and other places go together, and you went there and you signed your heart out, mate. Well, the folk with a passion can't afford to go and see it. And the folk who probably are putting themselves in debt now, only doing it. I mean, even the folk who have asked for their money back, the club sort of dragging their heels over it, and Zebra Finance are being a bit naughty and all that, mate. But there's a lot going on. As I say, I'm not going to start battering on about these things. You can see the timelines, you can see accounts like Celtic Research, etc., really getting involved. All the usual suspects on Twitter. But it's heart-wrenching, mate. You know, somebody says, oh, what's it like? You know, if I wanted to go and watch football, and that sort of time, I would drive 25 miles to drive. I'd have you to drive me 25, leave and go and play in the 5. I look at the side pitches that go and then you're sitting there this night because that's just what the time policy and policing they had at Celtic Park today. And the CEO, the guy who makes the pies, down to the police officers who run the games, they all work for us. They work for the great British public. And we're not getting much
that's a final yellow card, that's it. Your red card is your sin died. Who are you talking? Who's the great British public? For the independence vote, there's no great British public here. You're a fucking loyalist. After all this, you fucking put your cards on the table, you're a loyalist. The great British public.
No, there was people fucking
says this. You paying your taxes? It's a fucking tax propaganda campaign you've got going down here. Pay your tax, courtesy of the parrot. The fucking British public. The great British public.
No.
Fucking retract out of your ban for life here. I want a retraction.
Alright, we'll take that back then. People from these shows.
Fuck.
Okay, but you people
Did you hear that there? You're having a bubble.
You had people from England the other day. I'm sure there was some Wales, there was some folk from Ireland and all that, you know. I mean, I've seen some Borussia Dortmund fans. I shot a couple of pictures in for the Facebook page, but I never had time. But, you know, and I'm like, how can they go for a celebration of football at Dortmund to come into, you know, police the East End? You know, as I said to you, I tweeted, Jerry Braden at the Herald tweeted the other day. He says, shocker, you know, Celtic buy a new bit of land that everybody thinks they've already got. And I tweeted him back, Cambuslang Part 2. And he says, no, you'd be surprised. Everybody thinks you already own it. And I tweeted him back saying, was it London Road Police Station? And again, I forget that to me, I don't believe him really anymore. But can I say, that was the west, I can't tweet this because I could put in the offenders list. That was the wettest that stadium's been, mate, since One Direction played there. And
the last time it was that wet was when they had the Tory Party conference down in Brighton time with the wets. There was more wets in that boardroom the day than the wets party conference down in Bournemouth.
The audio I sent you, there's a good wee 6 minutes, mate, and the great brother, the wee 8-year-old fiddler, Finian Foley, you've played his stuff before, and there's a few Celtic songs, and the brother of brothers, the Royal Intruder CSC, Michael Fagan gets a wee mention, mate. So go on to your email and get him up. After this cash and carry Spanish Civil War, I'll add Suicide, Fenian Funk, mate. Get me some Michael Fagan on the line, Chief. And on that note, I'll love your lady chat.
No request for you. You're cheating your great British public. You're a yellow card.
Great British. I'm away to watch the Great British Bake Off, and you have your show in the background, Carpo. Hail, until the last feather.
I think he's peace. Until the last feather.
All behind 1-1-1. Right, so speak to you soon, Carpo.
God bless, right.
Ta-ra.
Right, that was a bull parrot. Who's he fucking put in request? I'll give me request. Billy Reid, that's what we're talking about. Right, the lines are open, 0141 416 1888. If you're down under, 03 9018 6767.
I'll sing you a song of a terrible wrong when the flags they flew at half-mast and a man lay dead, he'd been riddled with lead. He died on the streets of Belfast, and the radio said there's another shot dead, and he died with a gun in his hand. And he didn't say why Billy Reid had to die. He died to free our land. It happened one day when the bold IRA went out to fight for their land. With an old Thompson gun, they'd the Brits on the run, and returning to home was their plan. And the radio said, there's another shot dead, and he died with a gun in his hand. And he didn't say why Billy Reid had to die. He died to free our land. When returning the gun, Billy met British Huns, and when the fight had begun, his position was dire, and his gun would not fire, and he died with his old Thompson gun. And the radio said, there's another shot dead, and he died with a gun in his hand. And it didn't say why Billy Reid had to die. He died to free our land. Although he lay dead, he was kicked in the head. By the hair they dragged him around. They still fear him yet, and they'll never forget how brave Billy Reid stood his ground. And the radio said, there's another shot dead, and he died with a gun in his hand. And he didn't say why Billy Reid had to die. He died to free our land. If you think he was right, come and join in the fight and help to free Belfast for the blood that he shed